This is gonna be hard holding my phone up the whole time, by the way.
Hey, here we go. So we're on. So no more messing about.
All right,
You look nice today, Sunshine. How are you?
thanks. You look just like I did yesterday.
Well, anyway, in case you don't know, we're with Garrett Gerloff, our two-time Moto America Super Sport champion, who just finished clinching his second championship this year. We're going to have a little chat with him. We've also got some questions from some readers that were submitted via our social media channels. So we'll have a good little time here and see what Garrett's been up to. So Garrett, start with yeah, where exactly are you right now?
I'm in Manhattan Beach, California, with my girlfriend, and just kind of enjoying the off season a little bit out here
I
surfing.
I saw you. I saw you went for your first surf session yesterday. I saw something on Instagram. It's harder than you thought,
Yeah,
huh?
it's so hard. Like just trying to catch a wave, and then I was kind of brave and went out to the big waves first, and just got beat up, just end over end, like under the water, trying to get back to get air. Like it's gnarly. I was getting scared out there. Like those guys, I've always seen it on TV and be like, oh, that's what are they doing? That's not that bad. But then after being out there, like it's pretty tough.
Yeah, you got to actually start, in the whitewater there and not go outside there because it's
I, I
they
realized that
don't.
a couple people told me I was dumb for being out there the first time.
Yeah,
So
it's not good for you and it's not good for them either. So you're better off staying inside
yeah. They're
until
like,
you
get
figure
out
out
of the
what you're
way,
doing.
bro.
So did you get your own wetsuit? I knew you weren't going to be able to fit into Tony's.
Uh, no, I borrowed one, but I don't really know if you're supposed to wear like underwear underneath those or not, and it wasn't mine, and so I definitely put some on.
No, you
Never mind.
the key is naked under there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'd do if I had my own. So
The other key is when it gets cold, it's okay to just urinate in there too.
yeah, that's what I heard. I thought about it yesterday, but I was like, no, it's not my suit, and I don't think it gets. I don't think it can like leave.
No,
So
yeah,
I
well,
don't
you
know.
hose it out later.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't done that. So
All right, let's get started and talk about some stuff here. Now, I know we can't talk about next year because God knows you don't know what you're doing, right? But let's talk about it and a little bit anyway. I mean, there's obviously a lot of rumors going around, and the one that seems to have the most traction is that you're going to be Cameron Beaubier's teammate on the Yamaha Superbike team next year.
that
Um,
would be sweet.
yeah, I know. Let's talk about that. If that were to happen, I know that's been a long time goal of yours. You'd be pretty pumped, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that's something I've been striving for so long, and to finally have a couple good years and kind of show people that hey, I feel like I'm ready to move up to Superbike and take the next step in my career. Like that's something that I've wanted for so long, and the last time I rode the bike a couple years ago, we had like 6 laps on it, like JD, me, and Joe Roberts, and a couple other editors and stuff, and the Superbike fit me so well, and I felt like I was able to just go fast on it right away, and like I'm a little bit bigger guy, so it was just it was just working like super good for me, and was able to go pretty fast in 6 laps. So I mean, I know I can ride the bike, and I know what it feels like already in my head, and so yeah, I mean, if that were to happen, like I would be over the moon, and I would just want to go out there and make the best of the opportunity and try to do the best I could.
Now, I was going to ask you a little bit about your size because you're one of the less vertically challenged riders in the paddock. So the Superbike would obviously work better for you. Did you like JD Beach, who you raced against for the last 3 or 4 years? I mean, he's obviously a little guy that doesn't weigh a lot. Did you struggle and have to try to keep your weight down?
Yeah, I've not always struggled with weight, but like compared to JD and like let's say like Roger and Tony, these little guys, like there's some other little guys in my class too, but yeah, I'm like 5'10", 5'11", and I'm just like naturally like way more, I guess. So um, I was always like I've been like 160 the last couple years, and I don't know. JD said he was like 130, and maybe he was just like saying that to get in my head or something, but. I want to be as light as I can because I know it makes the tires work better, and it means you can accelerate faster, stop sooner, all these things like all the physics stuff that I don't know about. um,
I
so
think
I
I think
always
he
want
weighs about 130 soaking wet.
who JD?
Yeah.
Yeah, with his hair soaking wet. But so I kind of noticed it on the track a little bit too, like how I would struggle on the 600s at least to get out of the corner as well as some of the other guys I was racing against, Valentine and JD. That was pretty frustrating, and it's been like that, and I do everything I can to be as light as possible, but sometimes everything I can do just like still isn't enough, and so yeah, it would be nice to move up and kind of have some more power to play with, where maybe a little bit more weight can actually be an advantage, and I could use that to kind of whoa the bike down and ride it better.
Do you think your style would fit a super bike well, or would there be some adjustments that you would have to make, or you don't know yet?
Yeah, for sure. I think there would be adjustments. Like it's never just like get on a bike and ride it the same way as you rode a different bike. So for sure, there's things I would have to change a little bit, and I kind of had to do the corner speed thing with the 600 because of what we've been talking about, my weight and everything. If I can't get around the corner, um, let's say a couple miles an hour faster than JD, then on the exit I wouldn't be able to stay with them coming out of the corner. So it was just like something I had to do to adapt to me and how I am. So since I can do that, and I can adapt to whatever's thrown at me. So that's what I'm going to do if I get the opportunity, and not look back.
Would your preparation this winter, would that be any different than what you've had in the past if you were to be going on to something new? I mean, like physical stuff, or just stick to your same program?
My program honestly has been really good. Like I work with a guy named Chase Banks down in Houston, Texas, and he's awesome. We do like a lot of tests and stuff on me to see kind of what my body needs and what I need to do to be in the best shape that I can be in for the races. And on the 600, it was actually kind of too much. Like it was making it pretty difficult to keep my weight down, and like I felt super good on the bike, but just kind of a little bit tight and stuff. So honestly, we'll probably kind of take it a step down for the super bike, and I think that'll kind of help me just be the way I need to be to ride it if it's something I get to do. But if not, then I just do the same thing that I did uh, last year, ride the 600. Then like I know exactly what I need to do, and cut my program down a little bit more, and just kind of like I always say, just focus on having fun and riding a motorcycle, because how bad is that really?
So we won't see as many tank tops, maybe.
uh, I was a tank top guy like a year ago, like pretty bad, but not because I was trying to show anything off, because I was trying to get rid of these horrible like farmer's tans I had right here. So that's it. That's that.
All right, let's talk about your Spanish. Uh, Everyone knows. Well, most people know you. Like you're a self-taught Spanish speaker now. And what was the motivation behind that?
I mean, the motivation is like my end goal in my career, and when I met my girlfriend, she's from Spain, and I thought it was. This is kind of how it started. I thought it was so cool, just like how she was able to go back and forth between, these different languages. She can speak three pretty well, and I thought it was crazy how we could be, over in Spain, and she'd be talking to her family in Catalan, and then she'd be talking to somebody at a restaurant in Spanish, and then talking to me in English. I was like, gosh, I feel like the dumbest American right now. Like I can barely speak English, and so that's kind of what got me started with wanting to learn Spanish, and then from there, I was also able to like think like, you know what, if I really want to do this and I really want to try to be like a world champion someday and go race in Europe, like I'm gonna need to step out there a little bit more and do something a little bit more than other people, and to stand out, and also to give myself the opportunity to be able to survive over there, like if I am having to live in Spain or something like that. And I think it's just good just to kind of, I think when you learn another language, I've heard it kind of like unlocks a little bit more of your brain, like I don't know, like just comprehension and stuff, and so there was a bunch of reasons for it, but now like to sorry about that.
It's
Now
okay.
because in Europe one day, and I think that'll help me a lot.
Well, I guess you can be thankful you're not dating a Polish girl.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to have
That
to.
one might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Russian or something like that. I don't know if I could do it.
All right, that might be hard. All right, the
Yeah,
next thing I want to talk to you about that people may not realize is even though you're a factory star, you do most of your traveling in your big white van. So in other words, you drive yourself to the races and I think most of the time you probably just pull over in rest stops and don't even use a motel. So is that
yeah,
what's all about that? Is that just because you're a tightwad or?
yeah. No, it's there's a couple reasons. Like, um, I just like having all my stuff with me. Like, it's nice. I can put my dirt bike, my flat track bike, bicycles, gear for all of those things, my bags. Like, I can put everything in my van, and so it's nice to kind of just like have that home away from home wherever I go, and it kind of gives me that that just feeling of being comfortable and everything. So I like that, and the driving part, like it's kind of nice driving to a race and a couple of days before I get there, like I'm just kind of thinking about like, all right, how do I want the weekend to go? Like, what are my goals? What do I want to accomplish this weekend? Um, lap times, thinking about the track, like it just kind of really gets me not in the mood to ride, but it just gets me focused and gets my head in the right place so that when I show up to the track on Friday, I know exactly what I want to do, where I am, where I'm going, what I want to accomplish, what I want to accomplish, and things like that. So those are a couple reasons. Taxes and stuff. It's like 53 cents a mile, so I'm getting that gas. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. But I just like to drive too. It's kind of fun, and like I was going to Utah this year, and I realized that my route that I was taking goes right through Moab, Utah, and I stopped in Utah for a day and rode mountain bikes in Moab, and like that was something I would never be able to do if I was just like flying to the races and flying back home. So I like to see everything.
So that's a program you continue no matter what?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like it is hard driving sometimes, and like I got to do it all this year. I didn't fly to one race, so that was something. Maybe I won't do like that 100% next year, but there's for sure the closer ones. Like I'll probably drive to, and I like to make a trip out of it. So like the West Coast rounds. This year, I drove to Utah, drove to Sacramento, was with Cameron Bovier, riding around a little bit. Um, Went to Sonoma and then was able to go back home. So like I like to make it kind of like a trip and go train with people and like I said, just kind of enjoy this motorcycle thing while I can because I know it's not gonna last forever.
Maybe you pay me the 57 cents a mile and I'd be your driver.
53.
Oh,
I'll give
50,
you 49.
I want 60 actually. There's got to be something to put up with you, the extra money.
Well, if you're driving, you won't be with me.
All right, look, I got some questions now from some readers that we can get to. So let's go with these.
From the readers? What are you doing?
From, oh, yeah, I thought I was back at my old job. From our social media audience. Is
Okay,
that
all right.
better? Anyway, this is from Daniel S. He wants to know, have you had any offers or interest in World Supersport? I know you could easily run with those guys.
I feel like I could run with those guys too. Like I don't feel like they're like on a crazy another level. For sure, it would be different. But have I received any offers? No. That would be awesome to just kind of have like some interest over there. But I haven't received any offers. I would love to do it though, like some kind of world championship series. Like that's where I want to be one day. So I really want to be in MotoGP one day. But if I have to start at World Sport, that wouldn't be too bad either.
I guess you got to want it to actually get it. So that's a start.
Yeah.
From James, this one's a little odd. Maybe this is a Texas thing or something. But how
Right.
many duck-sized horses could you take on in a fight to the death?
How many what? Duck size?
Duck-sized horses. Let's
Like,
skip that one.
like, I don't know. I got two of these. Like I feel like I could take on a lot of things. I don't know. We'll see.
There you go. All right. Dave H says, what are your thoughts on the new Moto America 600cc class changes?
I think it's really cool what they're doing. Sometimes it's hard to have two classes and for the people at home to kind of keep track of what's going on And I know there wasn't like a whole lot of super sport bikes in our series this year, so I think it'd be good to kind of make it that one class and to bring the rules down a little bit, like for the one class that it is now. That helps out privateers a lot. And like when I was coming through the ranks and stuff, I was doing we're a national series on a 600, and I had to race against Benny Solis, who was on the Graves bike, the one that I'm on now. And you know, the rules were super stock rules. And so even though like I wasn't on like a legit bike, or I guess, I mean, I was on a good bike, but even though I wasn't on a Graves bike, like I still had the mindset that like, hey, I'm gonna go out there and I have a good bike, and whatever, like I'm gonna go try to win and do my best. And I was able to beat Benny in one of the championships, and he beat me in the other one, so we kind of like tied for the year. But like, it's good to have rules to keep uh, the the level of what you can do low to the bike, so that like the riders really shine through instead of kind of like the bike. And you know, I think that's good for the series, and I think that'll keep a lot of people around, and maybe even invite a few more people to join the class, because everybody's going to have a better shot, you know, at winning the overall race, instead of just like people thinking like, oh, okay, the super sport guys are always going to be at the top, and then the super stock 600 guys are always going to be below that. Like, it's one class, get out there, go try to win, and everybody's going to have a competitive bike.
All right, cool. Gavin A is asking, what kind of off-season training do you do?
Off-season training. Well, now that I've tried surfing, like it's pretty tough. I might start doing that a little bit. That doesn't sound like a training program, but but it was pretty tough. No, I do like running, cycling, motocross, flat track. Like those are all pretty standard things that a lot of people do, but they all work really well, which is why we all do them. The cycling and running thing, like obviously cardio, and then just being on a motorcycle, like that helps so much keep your eyes up to speed, your mind up to speed, your coordination and everything. For me, especially motocross, like just getting beat up and hitting all these braking bumps, and having to hit your ruts and be online and stay loose, like, but also hang on to the thing. Like it's all these things kind of fighting against each other, and that really helps me just have my mind going fast and being able to react quick to things. Um, what else? What else would I say I do? Um, I mean, that's basically it. Like I said, I train with my trainer at a gym sometimes, so I do gym work also. But kind of, I wish I had like a more exciting answer, but that's about it. Kind of the standard thing that a lot of guys do. I try to focus on the mental side of it a little bit more, so I maybe do some mental exercises or whatever. But yeah, it's about it. Pretty simple. Try to keep it simple.
All right, cool. From Bill H, he says, a quick question. Did the new Dunlop 180 tires really make that much difference?
No, they didn't. I A lot of people focused on that, and it did turn around some things. It basically took my for me and how I ride and how I told you I have to ride to make my body weight offset theirs, was the corner speed thing. And I won the championship on the 190 tire back, yeah, last year. So and I won races at the beginning of this year on the 190. So I mean, I don't really like it when people say that it was just the tire that is the reason why I was able to win. But um, for sure, it created a bigger contact patch, leaned over, and so you're able to carry more corner speed. And for me, there was more consistency when I would get on the throttle mid corner, and it wouldn't be so snappy. Like it wouldn't be to where I go to get on the throttle mid corner, like neutral throttle, and the thing just snaps on me sometimes. Like that's how the 190 was, whereas the 180 had a lot more consistency and feel. And so for me, it works really well, better than the 190. Um, I feel like, I mean, we all had the same tire though, so everybody could ride the tire the same way if they wanted to. But luckily, like me and my team were able to just work around the way the tire needed to be ridden, and so I was able to maybe take advantage of it more. Um, but yeah, like I said, like on the 190 or the 180, like I was able to win races over 2 years. So The 180 was maybe just another tool that I had in my toolbox to use, and other people weren't able to utilize it to its full potential, and that helped me a lot. But like we all had the same tires to choose from, so I mean I wouldn't say that it was the big deciding factor, but I was able to use the tire more to how it was supposed to be used, I guess.
All right, thank you. All right, we have another one here. What's your favorite track to race on and why?
Favorite track. Since I grew up in the Southeast, and so I would always go to tracks like Barber and Road Atlanta, Virginia, like all the time. So those tracks kind of have like a special place in my heart, and I love like the elevation at all of those tracks, the kind of flow that they have. But all time favorite, I'd have to say I'd have to say Virginia. Like I don't know why, but that track is so much fun for me. I've had a good couple of years there, and the flow that I have there, like, just feels so nice to ride through the S's and everything, and do the elevation and hit your marks like just perfect. Um, One of the tracks that I hated the most forever is Laguna. I hated Laguna. Like it was so tough for me to get a flow there, but this year I was finally able to like turn that around. So that's another good one.
Yeah, speaking of Laguna, I think that was the happiest I saw you all year when you won that race there. So is it
Yeah.
just because you struggled there and you knew it was a big race and you finally broke through?
Yeah, that's exactly why. Like I had always I'd always struggled there. Like everybody would always like kick my butt there every year. Like I got fifth one time. Like I just had a tough time getting a flow there. And this year I told myself like, hey, this is gonna be my track. Like I'm owning this thing this weekend. Like no matter what. And I just had a different mindset about it. And um, we also had the 180s. And yeah, 25-4 I think was like the first time that um, in this era, like in Moto America, and even before that, that we were able to go faster than Formula Extreme bikes back in like 2006, 2007. So that was like a big milestone too, and everything to win at Laguna was epic. It was just like a lot of things that were building up to make it like a crazy exciting weekend for me.
All right, cool. MotoGP Humor asks, do you see yourself racing overseas in the near future? And if so, would you rather race World Supersport or Moto 2?
I definitely see myself over there. Like I'm trying to do all the things I need to do to prepare myself to be there, and I'm always looking for like the next place to put my foot to see where I need to go. Um, what was the rest of the question? Like do I see myself there or where?
Well, would you rather race World Supersport or Moto 2?
Oh, gosh, the Moto 2 class is so crazy. Like those guys, I mean, there's like the top three or four that are always in the top three or four, but the rest, man, one weekend you can be fifth, the next weekend you can be 25th. It's like, and you can only be off by a couple tenths. It's a crazy class, and crazy hard to be consistent there. But I'd love to ride one of those bikes and see how they are. World Supersport, though, I think lately there's been a lot of guys right there, and it looks super fun also. Honestly, either one, like eh, whatever, if I ever got the opportunity, like I would just make the best of the opportunity, and not look back, and try to, make it my own. But I don't know. We'll see. Just trying to, yeah, find the right place to go.
All right, at Timar, and she didn't send photos, by the way, but she says, are you single?
Uh, no, I'm not. I mean, no, I'm not single. I have a girlfriend. Yeah, I'm with her right now. So yeah, sorry guys.
All right, next question. This will be our last one from Tom B. When are you moving to Europe?
When am I moving to Europe? As soon as I can. I love there. I'd love to be racing over there, and yeah, that's my end goal. That's what I'm putting like everything into it, and just trying to find those footsteps to get over there.
All right, we have one last entry from a guy named Josh Heron, and
Oh,
he says, why didn't you ever respond to my happy birthday text?
you sent me a happy birthday text. What? You had to throw that one out there. I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't even know. I didn't know that I got one from you. You sure you had the right number? I have two.
Also, so he doesn't take it personally, you are a little sluggish on the text return sometimes.
What are you talking about, Paul? You know
Well,
about
sometimes you don't text right away.
yeah, I'm not the best at that sometimes, but Josh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it honestly. But thank you for the happy birthday text. If we're talking about from a couple months ago, like I know 100% I didn't see it. If we're talking from like a year ago, I don't know, but yeah, I'm sorry about that. Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, Garrett, we appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, and we'll hook up again and do it soon. And have a good rest of your off season. And I'm sure we're going to hear some exciting news no matter what you decide to do this year. And we look forward to seeing that.
Sounds good. We'll do. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye bye.
See ya.